Hi, I wanted to share some things with you that I learned when I first started inquiring into suicide prevention. My son had passed away by suicide, and within a couple of weeks, I was trying to help bring awareness to this situation. And so, as I would go out and work with therapists and get involved in the community and what was going on there, I was finding out some very interesting facts about suicide, and that's what I wanted to share with you today. So, the first thing that I learned, I was in this class about suicide and statistics, and there was a therapist who was sharing some information. And a lot of times, if you're like me, statistics are just numbers, they don't really mean very much until suddenly you or someone you love is part of those statistics. And that was the case for me. And the therapist was saying, we in this world, our government, we don't take suicide seriously enough. And just a couple of months prior, two Boeing 747s had crashed because of faulty products, some different materials in the airplanes. And of course, there was a big investigation, a lot of resources were spent trying to figure out what had happened. Well, the therapist said that the equivalent of a 747 is going down every day in our world. That's how many people are dying by suicide every day. We're losing someone worldwide. And, there were only two 747s that went down due to faulty maintenance, and there was a lot of investigation going on. But that's 365 equivalent of Boeing 747s going down every year because of the people that are dying from suicide. So just so you can get a visual of how many people truly are dying by suicide, and then multiply that by at least 100 each, that's how many people are being impacted by suicide. So be aware of that. The other thing that I learned is that males are twice as likely to die by suicide than females. And so one might say, well, is that because not as many females are attempting? That's not the case. Males and females attempt about the same rates. However, because males often use more violent means of taking their lives, their the loss of life is faster versus other means that one might take where someone can find you and take you to the hospital and have you fixed up. So that's something to consider, is that both males and females are struggling, they're being impacted, but it's often the males who end up following through to completion. And we don't call it success because honestly, no suicide truly is a success. It's a loss to us all. And then finally, I wanted to point out that the second cause of death in people that are 35 or under in this nation is suicide, the second cause of death, 35 and under. It impacts males and females across the age brackets, but 35 and under, it is the second leading cause of death. And the saddest thing about suicide is it is completely 100% preventable. And so if you are struggling, please reach out. If you know a family member or a friend who might be struggling, don't take their word for it when they tell you they're fine. Spend some time with them. Really help them understand that you're there to support them, you love them, they're not a burden, you care about them, and that you're going to walk beside them until they get some relief, and that there are resources out there that can help them manage this pain that they're feeling. So just wanted to share that with you. Thanks.